You know, one of the things I think before I get started tonight that I'd kind of like to do, if you'll indulge me just a minute, kind of wanted to see a little bit of the mix of who all's here tonight. And those of you that are eating, sorry to interrupt you for a minute, but if you could, I know you've been sitting for a while, but if you are a chamber board member, would you mind standing? So, hold your applause. Keep standing. If you're a chamber member, would you stand up tonight for us? How about if you work for, hang on, I'm going to get to that in a minute. How about if you work for the city of Mesquite or if you work for the MISD, would you stand? How about if you're a guest or a staff member of any of these groups tonight? How about if you're an elected official? Have I left anybody out? How about if you just came because somebody invited you to come? I hope you don't mind. Get you a chance to get up, take a deep breath, let the food set a little bit, and let's give everybody a round of applause for being here tonight to help with Mesquite. So I'm kind of taking a little different approach tonight. I hope most of you don't mind. And I've got a little surprise. You know, 2018 has been a really good year. And I went to ribbon cutting after ribbon cutting after ribbon cutting, and I can't decide if they got sick of me showing up with the Chamber of Commerce and the Mustangers or if they liked me showing up, because they gave me an honorary red Mustanger jacket. So I wanted to wear it for the first part tonight to kind of make this part about the Chamber a little more special to me and hopefully to you as well. You know, I'm really honored to have opportunities like this to come present the city update to you. You know, first, I do want to say thank you to the Chamber of Commerce and your board of directors and your members for inviting me to speak on behalf of the city. And I'll tell you on behalf of the entire city council, it's a great place and a platform for us to share our story. Tonight, I'd like to make something, though, very clear to everyone in this room. I know that our city supports this Chamber of Commerce. And I will tell you, as mayor, I support the Chamber here in Mesquite. But you know, also, I believe that our city council has confidence in this board of directors that they will take the Chamber to new heights in 2019. And I pledge to you the Chamber membership as the mayor and as one of you, a Chamber member and a small business owner here in this community, that I'll do all that I can to support your efforts in this upcoming year. As you can see, this year, I've kind of decided to change up the way I present this update. So if you don't mind, I'm going to put my suit back on and kind of give us a little more of our city update and some of the things that you've grown accustomed to hearing. But tonight, one of the things that I want to do is to start with my family. You know, I've grown up here in Mesquite. I always like to say I'm born in Arkansas, got here as quick as I could. We talk about those kind of things. But my folks moved in 1959 to the city of Mesquite, and I was just a baby. And, you know, all these years of being in Mesquite, it's been very special to me. And I still have my mom, and I'm very blessed. She doesn't get out very much, but she still lives in the house that I grew up in here in Mesquite. I was by there this afternoon, spent some time with her. But you know, it's really been an honor for the last 4 years to be mayor. And you know, before that, as you heard earlier, I spent quite a few years on our city council. You know, and during all that time, a lot's changed throughout our city and our community. You know, the city has accomplished a great deal. During the last few years, we've rebuilt many roads and streets. We've replaced lots of water and sewer and pipes all over town. We've started quite a few new programs. The city's launched new initiatives. But one thing has not changed, and that's the love and support that I've had from my family to do this. This job takes a lot of time, and it takes time away. But you know, moreover than just the family, of course, I couldn't be here without the love and support of my wife. Tonight, I'd like for you to help me thank our First Lady, Miss Mary Jo Pickett, for all that she's done to support me through these years. it's kind of hard to stand up here and not take a deep breath and swallow hard when you think about all the many great things that have happened. Because as I mentioned my wife, it's a family affair. I've got grown children and grandchildren, and sometimes they say, why can't Grandpa come? But you know what? It's important to me to be here doing these things. But they've allowed me to share with you and to be a part of this community, and for that I'm very grateful. Before I get into talking to you about the years of business and our updates and things, I'd kind of like to share a few things just about the city of Mesquite tonight. It's important for all of us to know that we convey the many positive and great things that are happening in our community every day. Tonight, I want to focus on Mesquite, and I want to talk about why it's a great place to live, to work, to play, and of course, to own a business. In 2018, we started with a splash. Your city council plunged right into the new year. With great anticipation, we jumped into the waters with projects and programs to improve our community. And obviously the very cold polar plunge, but you know what? We did that to raise funds for Special Olympics last year and again this year as well. It shows that our council members can be just like everybody else. We're just regular citizens, but that we can have fun while we're leading the city, and how your council supports those many causes throughout our community. I'd also like to share a few of the many great things that the city of Mesquite did last year. Our staff accomplished quite a bit in 2018. We've done community surveys, and our results last year continue to tell us on the topic of public safety, it is still indeed our highest priority. So let me begin there, talking about the health and welfare of our city. As your mayor, public service and public safety is always at the top of my list. Our Mesquite Police Department has done a tremendous job as they continue to protect us every day and keep us safe. However, when people do come into our community and sometimes commit crimes, you can rest assured that our police department most of the time is going to catch them. Overall, crime in Mesquite continues to trend downward. We know that some types of criminal activities are going up, but others are going down significantly. And the city is always looking to do better with everything that we do. And this includes catching criminals and preventing criminal activity in our town. I want you to know I support Chief Cato and have great confidence in the dedicated police officers that serve our city. And I support their approach to the 21st century policing that they do here in our community. They continue to earn the public's trust by protecting us with purpose and passion, and it makes Mesquite safer every day. Last year, to improve our safety, the Mesquite Police Department joined the Neighbors app. That puts the power of connection to our police department and to other residents right in the hands of our citizens. Today, our citizens have more access than they've ever had to share information, to post crime alerts, and to help keep all of us safer. Another area that our citizens tell us is important is that of community appearance. In 2018, we continued our tireless efforts to address just that. Our code enforcement initiative is strong and swift, but we do try to be fair. We educate before we enforce, and that approach continues to work very well for us. However, we strive to be compassionate and understanding when it's difficult for some citizens to comply as quickly as we'd like. And that's when our home initiative goes to work, and I'll talk about that a little later tonight. Our efforts seem to be gaining positive traction throughout Mesquite. This last year, we have an 86 voluntary code compliance rate. You realize that means almost 9 out of every 10 property owners that we speak to and give code violations to are addressing their violations very quickly. Once it's brought to their attention, the property owner and staff work together and quickly take care of issues like high grass and other things. Our code ambassadors have had a tremendous impact on all of this also. These citizens, volunteers, help the city staff monitor residential areas and make sure we're offering the very best curb appeal throughout our community. And the city has not forgotten about the commercial properties in our fight to address code and safety issues. Our T25 program started a few years ago, and it continues to make a very positive impact. In 2015, the city created the list that identified the 25 worst properties with public safety and code violations and issues. But that list continues to evolve. We have a total of 63 properties that have been added to that original T25 list. But 29 properties have already come into compliance and have been removed since we began the program in 2015. Also, 12 properties involve the demolition of certain structures or other significant improvements. Also, the process of economic redevelopment has been a key contributor to this T25 success. One great example is the former community hospital, the property that's located out on Interstate 30. That former hospital sat vacant for many, many years. But with the use of our T25 program, we accelerated the demolition of the building, and now there's a new $15 million medical complex building under construction today. That's concrete evidence of the success when you can turn property decay into profitable redevelopment. So you can see the combined efforts of city staff and citizens and volunteers and code enforcement has significantly improved the quality of our neighborhoods. As we talk about the neighborhoods, I'd like to thank our citizens tonight. Many have really stepped up in the past year to help us improve our community. The use of social media that tells us their opinions on issues has been tremendous and growing all the time. Citizen attendance at our city council meetings and the public engagement events that we've had are extremely encouraging to us all. But really, it's been the participation in our neighborhood programs that's been so inspiring to me. We've witnessed many of our residents showing us that they truly care about making a difference. Let me share with you a few examples. In 2018, we held our first ever neighborhood summit. We saw citizens from all walks of life and from different backgrounds come and attend. We spoke with them about what they liked about Mesquite, but we also asked what they didn't like about Mesquite. That event was a benchmark moment for our city. It launched our neighborhood vitality efforts in a strong and upward way. And throughout 2018, we saw many improvements with our neighborhood programs. The number of neighborhoods hosting the National Night Out events skyrocketed. Volunteerism increased in our home program, which stands for helping others in Mesquite every day. This community partnership between our code officers, CDBG grant programs, and volunteers helps the elderly, the disabled, and the disadvantaged to get the needed repairs that they can't otherwise afford. Additionally, our Crime Watch and neighborhood groups saw renewed interest from residents wanting to get involved with our city. One of the central themes in all of this is you, our citizens here in Mesquite. I'm sure you've heard the saying, government can't fix all your problems. That may be true, but we do try, we work at it, but we need your help. There's also some memorable moments of our citizens getting involved during 2018. The Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association earned yet another State Chapter of the Year award. That is the 8th statewide award that these volunteers have earned in the past 10 years. I think that deserves a round of applause. Led by our citizens, this group has been instrumental in so many public safety services that aid our police officers and our firefighters and many others throughout our town. Also, the dream of building a lasting memory to many of the early families that worked in and around parts of Mesquite became a reality last year. Led by citizens and Historic Mesquite, the Brickyard Cemetery Monument was built and dedicated to the legacy of the laborers and their families who made that area and worked in that area and made that area home. And the community's vision for building a Veterans Memorial to honor our military veterans and their families became much, much clearer in 2018. Led by a citizens committee, enough money has been raised so that we can begin the design and hopefully we'll break ground on the first phase of this project in November of this year. These examples illustrate the power of the people here in Mesquite. We're privileged to have many dedicated citizens in Mesquite. But we're also fortunate to have many exceptional and professional staff working for our city. If you will, allow me just a minute to share a few of their accomplishments in 2018. Our Mesquite Animal Shelter had its highest save rate ever. Events like the Animal Clear the Shelter and our extraordinary rescue partners, they've helped the city maintain a 90% save rate in 2018. And also the state of Texas recognized the city for its information transparency. Mesquite became just the 6th city in Texas to earn all 5 of the Comptroller's Transparency Stars for public accessibility. And lastly, I was beyond humbled when I attended a function at Sharing Life back in February. The city of Mesquite was honored with the inaugural Community Impact Award. We were recognized for the Spread the Love Peanut Butter and Jelly campaign that helps feed hungry children during the summer. And as I've mentioned many, many times, that campaign doesn't go on just by the city. It's another thing that our citizens and you respond to in a very positive manner. All of our city's success, which I've shared with you tonight, could not have happened without the good employees who genuinely care about our community. Tonight, we have 3 of them that are with us this evening. Right now, it's my honor as the mayor of the city to recognize these phenomenal city employees. To assist me, I've asked the City Council if you would please stand and join me up here on the stage to the left so that we can all congratulate these folks. And as they're coming up to the stage, I would like to ask our 3 city employees to join me on the right here. First is Mesquite Police Officer Winston Bowen. Second, Mesquite Fire Deputy Chief Bruce Coons. And thirdly, city employee Cynthia Sanchez. I think we'll get them there. There she is. All right. Our first honoree tonight is Police Officer Winston Bowen. Officer Bowen is a 14-year veteran of the Mesquite Police Department. Officer Bowen is currently assigned to patrol in our neighborhoods. In previous years, the American Legion and the Elks Lodge have named him their Officer of the Year. But even though he's had numerous honors in the past, he remains extremely humble. He demonstrates outstanding commitment to community policing, and he builds relationships with people within our community and our city. Officer Bowen is affectionately referred to as the superhero Blade by the neighborhood kids on his patrol. I thought we'd get the glasses tonight, but I guess we don't have the glasses. You know, Officer Bowen has a heart to fulfill the needs of the people in our community. One of the many examples of this was last year while on his patrol, he learned of a child's bicycle that was stolen. After numerous attempts to locate that bike were unsuccessful, Officer Bowen graciously went and bought a new bicycle for this child out of the money in his own pocket. He's always looking for opportunities to break down barriers between the police and the public that they serve. So tonight, it's my honor and privilege to present Winston Bowen with the 2018 Mesquite Police Department Officer of the Year Award. Congratulations. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. You would. Just hang here with us for a minute. Our next honoree is Fire Department Deputy Chief Bruce Coons. Chief Coons started his career with the Mesquite Fire Department in 1988. He has risen through the ranks, and in 2015, he was promoted to Deputy Chief of the EMS Training Division. He's been instrumental in making many improvements to the operations of the fire department through these many years. However, one improvement has had a ripple effect throughout the entire fire department. Deputy Chief Coons started a new program called Ready for the Call. This program is a fitness regimen and an equipment and training to prepare the firefighters for any type of call for service that they may encounter. Ready for the Call initiative established new training for fire staff to anticipate all the different various demands of their job. From fighting fires to handling of patients, they're now more ready than ever to do their jobs. His tireless efforts with the program have led to safer operations within our fire department. The Ready for the Call program has established new levels of physical capacity for our firefighters in order to respond. So tonight it's my honor to present Deputy Chief Coons with the 2018 Mesquite Fire Department Officer of the Year Award. Chief, congratulations. Thank you, sir. Well, our final honoree tonight is Cynthia Sanchez, who serves as a system analyst in our finance department. Little story tonight. Cynthia thought she was attending this event to stand with her other co-workers for department-wide recognition, right? Yes, she said yes. You know, this embodies Cynthia's character. She's always willing to be team first. And I know she's very surprised to be standing on this stage without any of her co-workers tonight. But we're honoring Cynthia because of her ability to empower others throughout our organization in Mesquite. You see, she's responsible for training hundreds of our employees to use the systems that keep the city's financial applications running every day. Cynthia is essential to making sure that the financial backbone of this city is strong and operating at peak performance. Obviously, she's very modest in her approach, but I tell you what, she's vitally important to the city of Mesquite. When told of this honor, our finance director, Debbie Mall, said, "I think I'm going to cry," but she's so deserving of it. I think that's the best compliment Cynthia can receive tonight. So it is my honor and privilege to present Cynthia Sanchez with the 2018 General Government Employee of the Year Award. Congratulations, Cynthia.
I'm very surprised.
All these people.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, don't fall. Thank you, guys. Thanks for helping. As the City Council and these employees exit to the stage and return to their seats, if you don't mind, let's give them all one more round of applause, please. I guess you can kind of see tonight we've moved things around, changed things up a little bit. I don't want to get boring. I don't want anybody to go home and think, gosh, not another one of those speeches. But you know what? You may be asking yourself, every year the mayor comes up and talks about the economic update and what's been going on. I'm getting to that. We've kind of changed up, and this year we've saved the best, I think, for last. And to kick off that portion of our program, we've got a short video that I'd like to show you. I hope you enjoyed this look into Mesquite's surging economy. If you would, folks, please dim the lights and start the video. Thank you. one thing that I always try to do, and a lot of times I forget, but tonight I remembered. So these productions and things don't go on by themselves. There's a lot of people that have worked hard for this, for your enjoyment tonight. And I'd just like to mention them and give them a round of applause. Wayne Larson and his department, we have, let me read them all. So I got all the first names: Richard, Jessica, Alberto, Amber, Julie, Trelana, Andrea, Leah, and of course Wayne. Thank you all. Let's give them a round of applause. We'll try to get to that economic update now. You know, in 2018, we launched into last year on the heels of the groundbreaking in late 2017 of Ashley Furniture South Central Distribution and Fulfillment Center. You know, as the mayor, I was very proud to be on the stage when we broke ground with Texas Governor Greg Abbott as we presented the impacts of this massive project to the region, but especially to here in Mesquite. More than $65 million in investment right here in our town. And at build out, they will have more than 3 million square feet of space and more than 1,000 jobs when they finally get that all ready. That's great. Thank you. But not just that development. I mean, it's huge for our city, but the countless spin-off developments that will happen surrounding the properties there where they own land and also around our metro airport. We saw tremendous progress in 2018 also across the street from our Town East Mall. Market East had ribbon cuttings and grand openings after ribbon cuttings and grand openings and grand openings, which was great for Mesquite. We welcomed Home Goods to Mesquite, and we celebrated new locations for Michaels and Ulta. You know, at our Town East Mall, we added a fifth anchor. And I know many of you hear the stories that malls all around the country are some closing and shuttering, but they're continuing to decline, and yet here in Mesquite, our mall continues to grow and expand. Last year, Dick's Sporting Goods chose Mesquite as one of the sites to open its newest location. We also do repurposing of old sites. It was very successful in 2018. We saw Snuffers, Fitness Connection, and Peter Piper Pizza reuse existing properties to hang out shingles here in our town. Plus, I think I've been told, and I've heard a rumor, that the opening of the long-awaited porch swing is coming February 18th. Hallelujah. Everybody's happy to hear that, I know. We may have to tell Antonio he's got a lot to live up to. But you know, furthermore, Mesquite's becoming the corporate headquarters for lots of new businesses. IDI, which is Industrial Developments International, completed the Skyline Trade Center this past year. And we have a new company going in, Elements International. They're taking one of the buildings, which is 463,000 square feet, for a facility that's almost complete. And according to my calendar, they've got a ribbon cutting coming up next week. They're moving their headquarters. They've been in business about 10 years. They're a furniture distribution center. They're moving their headquarters from Rockwall to Mesquite, but they're also consolidating a Garland warehouse and a Houston warehouse right here into our city. And they're bringing 80 new jobs when they open up in a few weeks. But you know, as new businesses continue to come to town, we've continued our efforts to strengthen our existing businesses that are already here, just like what you and I have. G-Man Properties built a 100,000 square foot facility to expand two current Mesquite companies, the Pickle Juice Company and GTI. With those businesses and many more that are making decisions to remain and stay in Mesquite, we are continuing to work and do all we can to retain and help these businesses expand. That's why I want to extend a big congratulations to the Chamber, because it's been very rewarding as we see the results of partnerships that they've formed with Eastville College, Workforce Solutions of Greater Dallas, MISD, and the City of Mesquite to grow the Business Retention and Expansion Task Force. It's called the BRE, and it's hosted many great events last year and provides resources for business leaders and owners right here in our town. But you know, the value of Mesquite as a business magnet was very, very evident last year. One example of this was our Mesquite Metro Airport. In December, there was a Texas aviation study that confirmed that our airport has a $22 million total impact on our Mesquite community, and it continues to grow with new hangars being built every week. In tourism, we welcomed the $14 million Town Place Suites by Marriott right here nearby. That was the first hotel that we've opened in Mesquite in over 10 years. And of course, downtown Mesquite, we're starting to make really good, tremendous progress. 2018, we started our efforts to improve the infrastructure over there. They also launched a new downtown brand. We formed a board with property owners and business operators from downtown. And we earned the prestigious Texas Main Street designation, which was one of only a few awardees for this year in Texas. This summer, we'll start the first project downtown, our Front Street Station project. This will include a total reconstruction of Front Street, which you can see here on the pictures. You know, from our charming downtown to the massive developments throughout Mesquite, we continue to grow and grow. Last year, we added more than 700,000 square feet of new commercial space, and the value of all the building permits rose to $344 million in 2018, and it was as small as $79 million back in 2015. That's growth. And I'm proud of all that we have accomplished since I've become mayor in 2015 in regards to keeping businesses here in Mesquite and also helping others expand. The value of commercial remodels in addition to existing businesses has also skyrocketed, from $17 million back in 2016 to more than $79 million in 2018. We have more than 300 permits pulled by existing businesses last year to improve their operations and expand just to keep up with the growing economy here in our town. You know, with all this business growth, new people are going to be wanting to come and move and live here in Mesquite. They'll need a place to live. You know, that's one of the things that I'm very happy with and very proud of at our city council. We've demonstrated leadership to allow for more quality homes to be built in Mesquite. Just this past quarter, the value of the new home permits exceeded $330,000 for a new home. We have many different types of residential developments that are underway. You've probably heard and seen many of them, and there's some that are becoming soon. We've talked many times about Bloomville Homes and how they came out on I-20 a few years ago to test the market. Well, they've expanded their footprint. They've done so well that they've taken on Ridge Ranch off Cartwright Road over close to Horn High School. They've taken on that project just this past summer. They've already sold, I don't have a number tonight, but they've already sold at least 8 to 10 new homes out by Horn High School. They don't even have a model on the ground out there. So we're very excited about their growth and building out there. Also looking east on I-20, you'll see new homes in Polo Ridge, Skymark, and Trailwind. Just a few of the developments out there that have already been approved. Plus, we've just approved another new housing development on Gus Thomason this past Monday night called Cloverleaf. And of course, you've probably heard about the new Iron Horse development that's going to be happening in the land just to the north of here. They're going to offer a wide variety of housing options that'll include bungalows, villas, and townhomes. This is a $116 million development. It's also going to include new stores, new places to eat, and really just an overall enhancement of the property surrounding our historic Mesquite arena. In total, we will see more than 3,000 new quality homes be built soon in our community. That's something like we haven't seen since the 80s, and I'm very excited that we're going to be continuing to grow our housing stock here. With these new people coming to Mesquite, it just reinforces the need for us to have a strong community. We need to continue to have a community that is built by people getting involved in making positive differences. You know, it's been said that one's actions often define one's character, but we have people in Mesquite that have amazing character, I want you to know. I had the blessing of meeting one such man in 2018. Impacted by vision loss, quite frankly, the man just can't see very well. But he saw the possibilities in our community by getting involved. Don Douglas took up that opportunity to help kids in need at one of our elementary schools. Most of you have probably heard about his story or seen it on television. Mr. Douglas one day decided he wanted to help, and he stopped by the principal's office of one of our elementary schools and just asked, "How can I help? What can I do?" When the principal shared that many of the kids really don't have the money for their lunches and don't get anything to eat during the day, he immediately reached into his own pocket, put $100 on the desk, and he told the principal, "When that runs out, give me a call." News of his kindness and selfless act was so well received that there was a local company in Richardson that heard about his vision problems, and they offered to help him out with brand new state-of-the-art eyeglasses. And as your mayor, I was honored to join him when the school invited him back to their school. But this time it was different. He was invited back to the school by the very students that he had helped financially to use those new glasses to read to them. I'll tell you what, we need more people in Mesquite like Mr. Don Douglas. He's a humble man, but I tell you what, he's extremely motivating to me. Tonight I asked Mr. Douglas to come and be here with us. Please join me in saying thank you to men for Mr. Douglas and all that he's done. Mr. Douglas wanted to just go over and kind of remain anonymous and just try to help, which is it's so moving. But I think he understands and realizes that his story and his testimony of what he does should be an inspiration to all of us. The love and compassion that this man shows to our citizens and our students in Mesquite is unmeasurable, and we thank you very much, Mr. Douglas. When I became mayor about 4 years ago, I did pledge to you that I would give all of my efforts to help improve this city. In 2016, I stood here and told you that the city needed to get back to basics, and we did just that. Today, we have more police officers on our street than we've ever had before at any time. We've also accelerated our neighborhood street bond program that was approved in 2015. We've knocked 2 years off and hope to get it done in 8 years instead of 10. 2 years ago, I came up, stood before you and said that, we're working on things that we can always do better, and we have. We've initiated a review of our city ordinances to find ways that we can improve the operations here in the city. And our customer service report cards completed by our citizens show that 94% of our citizens feel like that we are doing a good or excellent job at serving them. Last year, I reminded you about the word unity that lives within the word community. A real example of that unity was realized in 2018 as we completed our 1,000th home in the 14-year history of addressing Mesquite. I've got to tell you, I don't believe there's another city, not just in the state or country, but in the world that responds to help its neighbors like Mesquite, Texas. Our Mesquite Ministerial Alliance and a couple of former mayors and council members starting Addressing Mesquite program 14 years ago. This year will be the year 15. And there are so many blessings that have come from that it just humbles my heart to know and see that we respond in such a positive manner. Our unity continues to remain strong, thanks in large part to the many groups in town, such as the Mesquite Ambucks, our Mesquite Rotary, Sharing Life Community Outreach, our Mesquite Social Services, Young Life, Raising the Bridge, and our new Mesquite chapter of the NAACP. And other groups like that. These groups form the nucleus of a very robust community here in Mesquite. They make Mesquite a great place to live, and I like to think to call home. Mesquite's special. It's very distinctive. I think it's an exceptional town. I know that our community responds when needed and called upon. And it's not about just the city of Mesquite. It's more about you. You represent the leaders in our town. It's just overwhelming to witness our community acting in kindness and reaching out to others time and time again. Tell you a quick story. I was recently at a furniture market, and I had a chance to sit down with the owner of the largest furniture manufacturing company in the world. We sat down and talked about business and family and just various things, but his time is short. He needs to get up and go, and I asked him, I said, can I ask you one question? I said, can you tell me, you've been successful now for 70 years, 60 years, you've got the largest furniture manufacturer in the world. Tell me, just as quick as you can, what do you attribute to success for all these years? And he looked at me and he said, I've got just one word for you, and that's optimism. He told me, it's easy to get down. It's easy to be negative. It's easy to look back and say, what did I do? Why did that happen? I said, you know what? If you keep your eyes forward, if you look to the future, you will see what can be, and you see what will be. He told me you'll see how you want things to be and strive to do whatever it takes to get you there. Why? Because you have optimism that you can meet your goals. Tonight, I'll tell you, all of us should have that optimism about Mesquite. I believe the future is bright for Mesquite in 2019 and beyond. Our citizens ask that we make changes to the city charter to position it for a new way of governance. The citizens asked for it, the council delivered. By vote of our citizens, we finalized a new single-member district structure for the city council members. By vote of our citizens, we moved the elections from the city council from May to November. By vote of the citizens, we created term limits for city council members of no more than 8 years, consecutive years of service. And tonight, if you'll indulge me, I would like to recognize one other person. With the new term limits, Councilmember Greg Noche will not be able to run for re-election again, but he's served our community as an elected leader well, I believe, for 8+ years. And tonight, Greg, if you'd stand, I would love for us to say thank you for your time. You know, all these things are what's going to help shape our community as we continue, like most cities, to evolve. The hope is that we'll create opportunities for others to serve, and that these changes will invite greater participation in our local government. As I close tonight, I do want to assure you that as your mayor and your council, that we are here to serve the citizens of Mesquite. We're committed to a unified vision that moves Mesquite in a forward path. We discuss issues at hand and we evaluate the data that we have. Through surveys and scheduled town hall meetings and continued feedback from you, I want you to know we're listening. But you know, also technology has allowed us to collect more data about the things that we're doing in Mesquite. And we continue to develop strategies based on facts to deploy all of our resources for a better Mesquite. Being a data-driven organization means we measure the results of all of our actions. It also means that we make improvements along the way for our community to be safer, cleaner, and a great place for all of you to live. I promise to foster a spirit of inclusiveness so that all of our residents have input on programs and services that we are looking at. Our community will continue to embody a passion for others. We will focus on the optimism of love and hope that makes Mesquite strong. Together, all of us working hard, we can move Mesquite forward. And as I look to the future, I want you to know it's not about what I want or what I think, or really even what your council wants or thinks. It's about you, the citizens. Tell us what you need and what you want, and we want to respond for you. You know, we can't keep looking back. We can't keep talking about Mesquite in the past because we can't go backwards. But you know what, folks? I said it last year. I'll say it again today. It's about our future. And it's not just our future. I want you to ask yourself again, as I mentioned last year, what type of community, what type of city, what do you want to provide for your children and their children and their children in the years to come? Each and every day we should be thinking about and working on that legacy that we leave for those future generations. Guys, it's not about us. It's about them. It's about creating a brighter future. And I promise you, folks, I believe the best is yet to come for Mesquite. It has been an honor to be your mayor for the last 3 to 4 years. It's been an honor to come up and share with you about some of the things that have been going on. And tonight, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, and I'm done. Good night.